All right, guys, can you get a big power clap? Got a finger issue. I tried to save a falling fan in the back of it and got 4 stitches. So my power claps are gonna be a little weak. They're gonna be like little golf claps. How you guys doing? Yay. Good. How was Saturday? Your pizza. Yeah, that was fun. We all got pizza. I didn't even with the kids. You were there. You were there. You were there. What was that? You guys select it. Yeah, that was fun, right? So anything interesting come up? Anything fun you guys learned extra on Saturday that you found really interesting or that caught your attention? Well,
not like it's not fun, but that was something we learned.
It was something we learned, yeah. So yeah, he's not going to be a instructor. I'm going to Austin and make sure covered that. Cool. It's going to go with a startup down there, I guess. And Austin's really good for startups. That is very true. Minneapolis is also very good for startups. I find myself being part of many of them over the last year. All right, guys. So we're gonna have a really fun day today. Honestly, I know I say it every day, but okay. Today is gonna be fun, but Wednesday is gonna be more fun. So today's gonna be fun. Because we're gonna deal with big data, right? We're gonna work with top 1,000 songs, right, on Billboard charts or whatever. And then we're gonna do like top 1,000 albums, and we're gonna work with that data together. We're gonna build a little Node application to work with it. We're gonna do a lot of fun stuff with that. So it's really cool. Wednesday, we're finally getting into Express.js, right, which we actually can run our Node applications within the browser for the first time. All right? You guys are waiting for that? You kind of know that that was going to be the next step within things? I anticipated that. I'm just going to stay in terminal the rest of the course. Yeah. So today's objectives, right? We're gonna work, working with databases and using large data, right? We're gonna solidify the foundations of MySQL and the SQL syntax. We're gonna create schemas and import large amounts of external data into the database, right? We're gonna use CSVs, right? Comma separated values, import them into our database. I'm going to use that, and we're going to kind of build the schema, the foundation of what the tables are going to look like. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have just a really good time. I'm supposed to do a pop quiz with you guys, but I think for time at the end of it, we'll get to it. I don't know. I feel like we're rock solid, and I'm going to take a vote. I wasn't trying to present it. How many want to take a pop quiz? Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If we all do really awesome today, then we won't do a pop quiz at the end. Okay, that'll be the reward. All right. But I honestly, I think we know all this stuff, right? We can connect to MySQL server. We know how to do it, right? At least we have the code to do it. We can create a database. We can create tables. We all know how to use primary keys now, right? With the auto increment, right? Text field, that's easy, right? We know how to insert rows into the table. I think we all went over that a few times. And then back to older stuff, whenever we did package.json, right? We're creating those packages to install. How to require MySQL, connect to MySQL, and then just display 3 rows of the data in the console. All right, so I think that's all pretty basic stuff. Hopefully we're there. If not, we will be there by the end of the day. We'll have a bit of a review, bit of new stuff today. All right, so what is big data? Big data, big data. Everybody want to tell me?
Well, last time I worked with data that is kind of fine.
Right. It's relative, right? Like back in 1969, big data was
1 meg.
1 meg. right? Right? Now it's an exabyte, right? Now it's several exabytes. Now it's tens of exabytes. You know? So now we're getting into, you know, they put the man on the moon with 1 kilobyte of memory on the computers, right? 1K, right? I have 64 million times the amount of memory in my cell phone that they put a man on the moon with, right? So big data is completely relative. There is no standard definition, but we can think about it as a way of a lot of data being used in many different ways, right? So I know, Nick, you work with big data, right? Your company, how would you define it in your organization?
It's a good question. So one of the things that we deal with at Boston Scientific is large sets of data that are too large to fit on a single machine. So whereas with traditional relational databases, say SQL Server or Oracle, they don't scale well because you can't often take the storage that the data is stored on and distribute it to multiple machines. Modern database systems like say Hadoop or Mongo are designed to be what are called, bear with me, they're called designed to be sharded. That's with a D, not with a T. What that means is that if you were to take a pane of glass and drop it, you'd have many shards, right? Well, these modern databases are designed to be distributed amongst many different machines so that you can scale them up dramatically in a way that's beyond even what you can really put on one machine.
Sure.
So relational databases just don't really work as well. But it's a good point.
Sure. Yeah, so we're talking about big data, right? We're talking about just complex systems that all have to kind of work together, right? I worked for a really popular cruise line, and all the data, everything, who's been on a cruise in here? Anybody? Two of us? All the data you collect on a cruise, right? All of that, every step, everything you eat, everything you drink, everything you gamble, right? That's all collected, right? So I worked for a cruise line that had 15 years of this data, and they wanted to be able to pinpoint like certain demographics and kind of anticipate what certain demographics would spend, how much they should give up trips for free or give discounts, and what they should do. And they did that. So in a form, in a sense, that was big data, right? There's gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes of just data, raw data. And one of my organization's goals was to kind of put that all together and give it to present to the marketing team in a way that they could use it in a simpler way. So that's pretty much how that works. So today we're going to be working kind of on the smaller scale of big data. It's not going to be terabytes and exabytes of data. It's going to be just a little bit, but it's going to be more than we've worked with before. And the true power of a relational database is able to work with a large amount of data and query it easily. So we can work with a partner or work on our own with this one. Actually, the whole class is kind of geared towards it's a 3, so you guys know it's kind of like a Sunday. So meaning we kind of a project day, sort of. So I'm going to kind of go through some stuff like fast, some stuff not as fast, and see how things go. Either working with a partner or working solo. Do you have the thanks, man, the top songs CSV? So working with pairs or working on your own, I guess it's dealer's choice, whatever works best for you today. Decide how you might go about creating a database and a table for the data that you're going to get in the CSV, right? So you're going to have different columns in the CSV, and you can determine, okay, it's going to be a bar chart, it's going to be a text field, it's going to be an int, is this going to be a float? Just go through there and get a kind of a good feeling of it. And then explain how you go about creating a database that holds the data. The raw numbers, and this part kind of got me when I went through it, it's reflect the total value of music industry sales. So where a higher raw score indicates a greater volume. This is distracting. I'm I feel like I want to fly away with this little wing. So where it feels like I'm anyway. Where a higher raw score indicates a greater volume of sales, right? So what you'll have in that set of that CSV is a bunch of columns for US, UK, I forgot all the rest, but there's a few others, and the higher the number, the better. So just get really familiar with this data and determine how you would build a table based on that data. Does that make sense, guys? 55? Yes. Top songs. Not CSV yet. Not building anything yet, but if you want to like take some notes, maybe it'd be good. That's good. So let's look at this for 10 minutes, maybe less, and decide how we would do that stuff.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's good. Should have, weird. Yeah, let me slack up the descriptions, I guess. All right, guys, here's your listing of what the columns mean. The position, meaning that's like a compilation of the raw total. The highest raw total will be the position 1. The artist name, obviously, the song, the year. Right, the individual USA, UK, European, and broke. Yeah. No, that'll be fine. Sorry. No, it's all right. Oh, rest of world. That's what ROW is. Sorry, rest of world. No, they're just a rating system, just a ranking. How they define it is the total value of music sales in the music industry sales, where a higher raw score indicates a greater volume of sales. So it's just the higher the better. Not necessarily. Oh yeah. Oh yes. So Nick just selected the refined instructions for this exercise. So we only have a few minutes left. Hopefully you guys are determining what would be a good data type for these columns.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm cutting them.
Just listen. Okay.
Jumpsuit.
Get set up. Okay.
So guys, I don't see a primary key on here. You want a primary key?
Well, I was actually wondering how we use the primary.
You don't need primary key.
Not for this one. Not for this one.
He does, he actually uses that.
Saw that. But still, you don't want primary key.
No, not for this one. Well,
Oh, you're right.
well, yeah, in this sense, Nick's right, like I always use a primary key. In this connection, this case, the position itself will be a primary key because it will be unique. It'll be 1 to 1,000. So in this case, position.
Is that if someone deletes like
I-
900, and they add a new one, now primary key 900 is gone. You have no one in slot 900.
Absolutely. But it would not be accurate.
So we're given positions, that was the position on the top side first.
So right, it's a ranking. Which one their highest one is. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The easiest thing to do is just give it a different name, like say, so.
I remember in
So if you can, you can put it in quotes and then I force it out treat it as a string, but it's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. Trust me. In reality, you are showing it.
So like, yeah, position same thing. I got that.
So yeah, I would do like hook or song here or whatever, or S here. That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
The type of data. Well, the question is what kind of data.
That, I'm thinking about.
All right, does anybody need a few more minutes? Talk about?
What's the next step? The same.
Yeah, it'll be okay, 'cause this will be just the application itself, so.
So we just. If they. Then in that case. Would that be a flow?
So.
Yeah.
So if you just want to store
Yeah, no, he's. So, and then after you click that,
All right, guys, big power clap. We'll come back and build this together. So the goal is to obviously define what type of data types we're going to use here, right? And some of the things we're going to need to do. I can tell you without certainty that the position number will be 1 through 1,000. In this case, we can use this as our primary key, right? This wouldn't be like an auto-incrementing primary key or anything like that. With this data set, there will only be 1,000 values at any given time, and it'll always be the same 1,000 values. If a 1 was to replace number 1,000 or number 1, we'd still have the same keys in this example. Now, best practice would tell you, I don't want to confuse you guys, but you use a auto-incremented primary key that would be independent completely of something that you would use as far as like a ranking goes, because you can make changes to it, all this stuff could be out of sync. So for this exercise for today, we'll just assume we have 1,000. It's going to be a constant 1,000, and we can use the position as our primary key. For the rest of the exercises today, that'll just keep things simpler. Also, for the rest of today, if we can name this our column names, that'll make things a little easier too, so we're all on the same page. All right? Okay. So what did we come up with for like position? What did you guys determine about position? Could be an integer? Sure. What else could it be then? In this case. Ooh, auto-incrementing I wouldn't do as well with this defined set of 1,000 in this case, right? So if we did that, we'd accidentally delete 1. We'd have 1,001 and 996 is gone, right? So in this case, no, but generally yes. But it would be what? The first one. Primary key, not null. Yes, those are all very good. Yeah. Artists, what do you guys come up with? String is good. What's another one? Varchar? Varchar what? 30? Didn't see anything above 30 characters? Well, if you do, what happens? That data gets truncated, right? So yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to that type of stuff, right? Song, what do you guys come up with? Varchar? 1,000? That's a long. Hey, I really said it. Trying to think of the longest song I know. A long and winding road. Does everybody follow along? I know I'm just talking to this group specifically here, but does everybody follow along with what we're doing here? Right? We're determining what types of data types we could surround in these type of values. Does that all make sense to everybody? Mr. 5? Awesome. Okay, good. Year. What would be a good data type? Varchar? Integer? character 4? Sure. Right. If we wanted to order them, you know, this case that would work because the order would also be alphanumeric, so it would work in that sense. I might use an integer just because it's a number, and it always would be. And it stores in less bytes. Yes. Yes, but I don't know just because it's not like a standard. It probably is a perfect situation for this. You could probably use it. Is it do you have a data type here that you're using? That you're suggesting?
Yeah, it's just a year.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't used that. If it's something we could use, maybe that'd be fine. I would probably stick to the basics, just because what we want to try to do in this class specifically is go with the most generic, most standard of SQL, which would be the most cross, relational database compliant. Okay, so how about all the raws? How about all those? What do you guys come up with? Close. That's good. Decimal's good too, right? Does decimal offer several decimals? Decimals? So you could use either, sure. Yeah. I don't see any harm. Awesome. So for this schema, let's skip there. Let's go to the next part. Yeah, good job, guys. So if I'm going to build like a schema, right? If I'm going to build this database, right? What would be the advantage of storing this all in a file? Having like a schema file. You can access it easier, right? You can build your database instantly, right? Anytime you want to. You build it, store it, have it ready to go, make some changes to it. You can always drop your database, rebuild it. The schema, you basically just all live right in there, right? Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to build a schema based upon this set of credentials that we just set up. And you guys have all done it already. We're just going to create a database and a table based upon those data types and column names that we just came up with, right? Seeds.SQL, right? Today we're going to be importing in the CSV, so we're not going to go here. But what this is basically the same thing. It's just SQL that's been generated based off your data, right? That you can import that's already in SQL, right? You can put this in a repository as long as it's private, secure. It's something that you could use and import your data right away like that too. Oftentimes in development environments, you'll find yourself needing to refresh data, right? Because you go in and you host it all up and it's like test data and it looks bad and whenever you break it all. But these two things come in really handy because you can rebuild your database in any moment in time, right? How you guys feeling? Yeah. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. I get this throb in my finger once in a while, and I accidentally type keys. It's like really painful. All right, so let's do this, guys. Let's prepare our database. So it's time for you to start creating databases of tables, and we'll do a top songs DB, which will eventually house all the top songs CSV that we got. Don't worry about that quite yet, right? So we're going to create a table called top 5,000. Okay, and it's going to be capable of holding all the data contained within the top song CSV properly. Okay, so all your code should be written and saved in a file called schema.sql, right? So you can use the code later on if you ever should need to. Your column table should match those within the CSV file as closely as possible. I know we didn't have the column names in those. I don't know why, but I'll put them up on the board. Bonus, create a seeds.sql. We won't be using it as the imported, but if you want to see how that works, feel free to export your CSV into SQL. Look at how my MySQL Workbench as a bonus can import and export data files, because we will be doing that within the next exercise. But for the first thing we do, let's build the database and the top songs database, and we'll set up a top 5,000. Do you guys want those column names again? All right. Ooh, okay, I'll get that part next. All right, so this schema should look something like you guys seen before, right? We're probably gonna just start off by dropping if a table if it exists, right? Recreating it and creating a table that includes the primary key, all of these columns, and their data types. So look at past examples of how you did it, try to leverage that and put it all together. Are you guys with me for some fun? Okay, golf clap. Feel free to work with a partner on your own, guys. It's up to you.
How are you?
Yeah, I was going to kind of really fine.
Okay. Oh,
It's just a little bit.
yeah, sure.
I'll cut to going back and forth. So
Okay. Do you have MySQL? You don't have it set up yet. Okay, so did you install MySQL?
we did. Chris did something.
Okay, so that's Workbench. Have you installed Workbench? You have Workbench. See, this is
This one's asking me stuff.
yeah. Have you installed MySQL?
Let me select up these instructions too, guys.
This is MySQL Workbench. So MySQL Workbench isn't MySQL. So, did you install MySQL?
That was already installed. I downloaded the community edition thing, but I didn't install it.
So it was installed, and then you did not install it. It was not installed.
My Workbench was installed when I got there.
Workbench, right?
Yeah.
But not MySQL.
No, I downloaded it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So can you go to your downloads? You know where your files are. It's probably the downloads folder. You have to. And this is that. Yeah, right there. Yep. You want to install it. So I don't think this is the right thing. Let's go back to the browser. Let's go to MySQL.com. Yep. So you did the community edition? MySQL web community. Yeah, MSI. Okay. You just said nothing's starting on it. That's what you got. MySQL.
Oops. Sorry.
Install
Sorry. Where is it? There it is.
it.
Huh? What happened? Oh, he wrote the. Oh, you select that?
Same one. I just want to make sure. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Oh, there he is, actually right there. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. That's the install. I see. Okay, okay. That's what this is. So if you go back to
Let's raise your hand if you're at all confused or you didn't.
you go to because we've already installed it, so you can go to this. Yeah. Just check. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Okay, I see. Never mind. This was uninstalled. We don't want to install it, so say no. Yes. Yes. Now go to add. That's what. Now click on MySQL server. Plus next to it. MySQL server. The MySQL server. See, it's a little different on the Mac. See, the Mac is different. So if you click on that guy, yep. How you click the arrow moves to the right. This is what I want. Now see that. Should be good. Can you check that? You click those. Okay, so I have to say that. Okay. Those files are missing. Are not being selected.
That's what you do.
I see. Okay.
So,
So if we go here, I bet it's gonna add nothing. Got it. Tell you what.
it's just wrong.
Let's try. Installing it sucks. Sort of. Yeah. This is weird. I hate this shit. I hate it. I want to. I think it's the exact same thing.
I
think it is.
Because we're only sharing this, we've never used Decimal before. So use Decimal if you want to, but I think we'll let it be more.
I'm going to run this again. Yes. Because it's already running. I see. Yes. I'm going to try running this one just to see if it works. So this indicates what is already installed. That's the problem. Okay, so I'm going to go to
For like position. That's probably the.
say next. Okay. Actually, that's how we do it.
Yeah, you could probably say that. We would want it to have. I'd say as well. So if the record is like basically what we're saying here, it has to have the name of the artist. So if you were trying to insert a record that didn't yeah. Sure. That's fine. Yeah. So it's yeah. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I have to get it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the
Yeah. It's the room. Yeah, yeah, I assume for this case, if we're starting someone, make sure it hasn't
I don't know what's causing it.
for this case, we could probably just say, okay, but we just know we have a field.
He's had this problem before with some weird thing. I think he's rebooted his computer a few times, but there's going to be a better way to solve it. Somehow it's like you're missing something.
Yeah.
I just have no idea. I think so. Yeah. I don't know. It's 6. I mean, what else would it be?
So, right. So this is going to be my ID, or the position. Yeah, and then these.
Yeah. 2 files. So
We
one
were,
of them,
we were talking about decimal before.
what one of them does is it like prompts you. It's when it needs software downloads. The other one that I'm downloading right now is much larger, but it includes everything. Yeah, you don't download anything on the web once you start to install. So let's try those. I make no promise, but we'll try. Why do we? It's like if you are missing something, would you tell me? You know, it seems dumb. All right. Saying I have to get out of the existence. It's saying that I had to get out of the existence. Now that I've closed it.
Specify. So I'm just going to you can specify
a difference.
Yeah.
I know.
That's funny. Okay. All right, guys. How we all doing? Did we all come up with a schema? Did we all get our schema? Did we all get our table built? Our database built? How many got the database built? Okay. How many minutes? A few more minutes? Couple? Okay, we'll just do a couple more minutes. Decimal. Don't use decimal.
Windows isn't.
Go ahead, man. Yeah, we'll walk this. We'll walk this. Is everybody ready? We're good? All right, let's get going then. So I just ran it. Just installed my new database. I didn't see it. I dropped the one I did when I ran this 4th class, so hopefully all this goes perfectly. Position, I did an int, not null. Why would that be not null? Because I'm going to use that as my primary key, right? I always need to have a value, right? In this case. The rest of them, it can be null, right? I mean, in this particular case, I guess maybe you would have an artist that doesn't have a song name, or maybe you don't know the year, or something to that effect. I mean, I guess the data is not super tight. Integrity is kind of the word I'm looking for, I guess, in this sense. You'd like to try to keep everything, making sure it's going to be clean data that represents exactly what you're going for. So just went with the standard 100 varchars, right? Just allow for any flexibility of any name or artist that might be up to 100, right? In this case, year, int, null, just whatever. All right, it can be blank, it can be any int, right? Use a decimal. That's just the precision, right? That we use with that. It can be If you guys came up with something a little slightly different, that's fine. No worries there. We probably won't really run into that as a problem. If we do, we run into truncation, that kind of thing. When we import, we'll handle it when we get there. Let's just go with it. Of course, at the end, what am I doing? I'm defining the primary key, right, as what? As position, right? Cool. All right, so we ran it. Good. So you guys all with me now, though? Just 5. Awesome. Yes, you guys with me? Duncan? Did you say sure? Confidence. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to import the CSV. So being that the columns, right? So when you're importing data like comma separated values, you have to make sure of a few things, right? You have to make sure the data types are there to support it. You have to make sure you have the correct number of columns, most importantly, right? So all of this stuff you kind of have to verify before you start importing data. This is CSVs being one of the rawest forms of data. Is literally that. It's data separated by commas, right? You can have other separators, right? Semicolons, dashes I've seen, colons I've seen. In this particular case, we're using commas. Can anybody tell me what potentially would be a problem by doing CSVs, importing data as CSVs using commas? So what does that mean? It means that your data would be all messed up, right? If you had a comma in your data, right, that our whole thing is out the window. So fortunately, the data that we're dealing with right now doesn't have any commas in it. It's all clean, it's scrubbed, it's ready to go import it. So let's take a look, see what it looks like. All right. So there's other ways to do this. So I'm just going to do it the way I know best. And I can right-click over here, and I can see my top 5,000 of the table. Yeah. And I can drag down here. I can go table data import wizard. All right, you guys have something similar to that? Walk through it once, and we can come back to it. I'm going to import the top song CSV. It should be on the machine someplace. I'm going to run next. It's going to use the existing table, right? I can create the new table, but I'm going to use the existing table because I already perfectly laid out that schema, right? The CSV, the wizard would attempt to create columns that would best represent the data that's in there. But since we already built a perfect schema, we're just going to use that, right? So we go next. It's going to give you a sample of what the data is going to look like. I'm going to do UTF-8 as the type, right? I'm going to go through and say, okay, look at first, the destination is going to be position, the artist, the song, the year, the raw total. It's all here. Shows me what that would look like if it was actually applied to the database, insert data. You can see it all, right? I'll go next. Prepare to import. I get to import. This may be slower on your guys' machines. Dealing with this, depending on your machine. If you have little problems, you're probably quacking things. What? Oh. Got that MacBook money. So let's check it out. Let's see if it's there. And there it is, guys. We got all our rows right in here. That's all it took. Did we? I think did the CSV only have 1,000? Yeah. Oh, let's do it again then. All right, let's not mess around. Let's do it. I'm going to delete. All right, it's all gone. All my data's gone. I can check it again just to do a quick little select. I can see it has no data. And I can re-import the wizard. And you said you saw a limit somewhere. Oh, so I was importing the rows. I just wasn't viewing the rows. All 1,000 were imported, but I was only viewing the 1,000. Sorry. Why don't you speak up? Sometimes I just like to read for the benefit of everyone. Right, Tim? All right, hold on one second. Let's all get on the same page. I'm gonna go ahead and re-import. I'll give you one second, Pierre. Okay, who hasn't been able to import their CSV? Okay, it'll happen. Trust me.
What Java is referring to? There are a lot of jobs. There's a lot of Java and Java. Usually what it means is they want full stack. Full stack means someone who can front end, but back end would mean back end would need database. So that because you're doing Java, that means you need everything. Since we have to start.
Hey guys, just Rob, you guys just so you know, it may say only 1,000 reviews. That doesn't mean you only import it. Yes,
well, not everything. Full stack really needs to be just developing full, like from the browser to the server and back. That's what it means that like because you're a backend developer. You're building applications. You're building like a service. You're a front end developer. You're doing HTML, but not a service. Most products
but there's no way you're going to build.
Right now, I'm working on Node.js. Node.js, the JavaScript, that's front, right? So the two together. So it's not, I thought I was going to restart the computer. Let's try it. Just to make sure that we feel the right. But look, I would say that if your UI is high, right? So first off, you should start talking to some. You have your nice, right now, which is not bad. It's a good thing. It means that you have a bunch of baggage that you can hire on someplace. They're going to have to price that and you're fresh and they can teach you the way they want you. That's a benefit. As opposed to you being a developer who got 20 years of experience. I mean, it can be good. It's also bad. But you start talking about developers and you kind of go through the program and make sure that you're that you have some projects on those you can talk and say, I worked on a group with this. I was responsible for X and Y. You A and B, whatever. And we're doing this. How was it happening? That's really valuable. Get a sense for what
and then it landed up against your
where you are. One thing I would strongly advise is
and then it just
there's a difference.
like there's a slightly different.
You start saying, oh yeah, I know secret really. I've worked with $100 million record. What did you do? You know,
Yeah.
you'll sound like an idiot.
No.
But some people do that.
I mean, I understand if you're talking to somebody who's just right. You tell them about your face
Yeah. Absolutely. And even with the person, even with the recruiter, some of the recruiters are former candidates. You know, like even yourself. Well, you guys, you guys are all good recruiters because you know enough about the technology now. You would be able to assess the abilities of people. You know, a lot of people, some people go to the tech route and say they don't like it, and they go more into this, you know, LinkedIn recruiting. There's just lots of places to go. You don't have to be there. So were you guys glad that France were?
I was actually on my team lost a long time ago.
Oh, really?
I was Argentina. Yeah, my team lost too. I wanted Croatia.
You wanted Croatia? Yeah. They took out Russia, right? That was good.
Okay, next time.
It's still loading.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at all these.
That's yeah, that's good too.
I know.
That's good. That's exactly. You gotta use some organization.
I
Did anybody else
started organizing what I need. I'm just like, I'm not gonna touch that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, it doesn't matter. This is a short video. So if this doesn't start up, if MySQL doesn't start, I don't know what. I hope that this works.
You guys okay? You guys okay? All right. Does anybody else not get their data imported? All right. All right, guys. I kind of took a little detour off the lesson plan, but I thought it was really important that we cover a couple of things that I see in the real world a lot, and you guys will too. And we can apply it to what we're doing today, which is kind of fun, right? So there's a couple of new things we're going to learn. I'll show out some samples of it, but I really want you guys to figure it out yourselves. There's a group by that groups elements that always have shared values together, allowing us to have like count all is greater than 1 to determine if there's multiple. That's not typically how I use group by, right? I can group by and say, here's all these artists. I group by artists, right? And I group all the songs, and I can figure out how many songs are by one particular artist. So I can use group by to figure out how many of what group are on there, right? So maybe I'll have to show an example. I will show you one example. All right, that's really important. So, oh, you can hardly see that. I usually use my gaze. If you're looking confused, it's because you're confused, or you think I'm confused, so I kind of use that as my barometer of the class. So what I'm doing here is using a count on the position because that's a unique value, right? That's my primary key, so I can use that as a unique value, right? And I'm also pulling the artist, okay? So I'm doing a count individually of position, and I'm pulling the artist. It's kind of a complex thing, so I want you guys to all kind of look at this on your own. I'm pulling it from this table, right? I'm grouping it by artist. So it's going to do the count, right? And it's going to group it by artist. And I'm going to order by the count and position in descending order. Meaning, if I have like Beatles, right, have the most count of positions, right, they'll come up at number 1, right? Right? If Elvis has the second most songs that are in this list, right? It'll show up next, right? Because you guys follow me. The position itself is our independent. My barometer is laughing. I don't know. So let's give it a run and see what we get. All right. So what this tells me by running that little query is the fact that we got 49, right, distinct Madonna songs on this particular table. Yes. Yes, it is. If we're familiar with that, yes. Second most right, we're ordering it in descending order, right? By unique keys. All right, and that's kind of tricky. Maybe another way to think about it would be we can obviously pull out other things. We can pull out we can find out how many were in certain years, like the most years that came out with most popular stuff. So let's take a look at that. Let's do that. So with this particular clause, which you guys don't expect you to memorize this, but write this down. Have this, right? Because if it comes down to using group by, this is going to be a really good example, right? So I'm going to keep with position because I know that's absolutely unique, right? And I'm going to pull year. All right, so I'm going to group by year, ordered by the count of the unique position, right? All right. 97 songs, 1997, 96 songs, 1975, right? That was a good. 88. But yeah, so you guys kind of get how that works a little bit. It's kind of tricky. Once you play around with it a little bit, it'll make sense. You guys will be asked to use this, right? So I want you to be familiar with it at least. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So there's between, right? So when we talk about where, right? So I could say, let's say I want to say, select all songs where the year is 1979 or greater, right? My where clause. With the between, I can say, right, where year between 1975 and 2001, right? Kind of says that. It's also inclusive of 1975 and 2001. You guys know what I mean by that? Right? It means it's equal to, less than, equal to, less than, greater than, right? It's inclusive. So if I say between 1975 and 2001, it's going to also include 1975 and 2001. All right? That's all that. You guys see the working example of between. That one's a little easier to understand, but maybe we'll just go through it for fun. All right. Oh, no, I won't pull that one yet. Cool. All right, so this is kind of what this looks like. So I pulled those songs between 1964 and 1965, right? So here's all the songs that are in our 5,000 that are inclusive, and just show those songs. So why might that be valuable? Well, you can pull your data set just simply by supplying two different values, right? So it's the same as me saying where year is equal to or greater than 1964 and year is less than or greater to 1965. Right? So it's the same as me saying that. It's inclusive of those two numbers. So it's just kind of a shortcut. This is widely accepted between every SQL environment that I know. Your comment? No? Or I always say, yeah. I like to have a little more control. There's rarely a situation where you need to be perfectly inclusive. You're usually saying everything after this point or everything, so don't use it a ton, but it's there. So it's something we can do. Maybe. You guys have any questions about that between? Awesome. So this is the one that I kind of threw in today. It wasn't part of lesson plan, but I want to be extra smart. So I do an like operator. So who knows what the like operator is? Anybody? Right. Right, except for the pattern matching part, right? Because it's not technically like a regular expression, but all it does is it allows me to do basically a search, right? Of anything in between the percent signs, right? So if I have a percent at the end and I want to do, let's say I want to search for the Beatles. Yet I can't remember if it's the Beatle or the Beatles, right? I can say select all from top 5,000 where artist is like the Beatles percent, right? So let's see what this looks like. Oh, on the other side, I could say the percent sign can be at the beginning. It can be at the beginning and the end, right? So it could be at the very beginning of the value, in the middle of the value, the very end of the value, right? So this is something you see a ton of in the industry because people are, it basically mimics a search, right? So let's see what that looks like quick. So I was able to say the Beatles, right? I couldn't remember if it was a T or a Z at the beginning, right? Couldn't remember if it was an ES at the end or what, right? But look at my results. The Beatles, right? So this syntax is also really important to remember or be able to use, right? And one of the projects we'll go through today, you guys can, as a bonus, use the like. I threw it in there because I thought it was important that we knew how that works. I use this a lot. We can find out. Let's say we wanted to. Let's see. How about we wanted to find out every artist that has the word "and" in it? You know, maybe I want to say I'm going to put a space in here because I actually want just the "and," right? So I'm going to count the artists from the top 5,000 where artists and like "and," right? So let's find out what we get. We got one. We have one song that has the word "and" in it. Do you guys want to see what it is? We can rip out the count, right? Pull all the columns. All right. Of Monsters and Men. Little Talks. Oh, it's a good song. All right. Do you guys kind of understand the like operator? Kind of cool. I mean, maybe it's simple enough, but obviously that type of query will take a lot longer than having like an equals, right? You're asking for MySQL to do a lot more work than you would if you just said the Beatles, right? It's gonna have to go, oh, where is this whole thing, right? So you want to use it sparingly, and only in situations that would be necessary for it, right? Obviously, the same thing goes for like things like song, right? Oh. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah. All right. So you guys get it, basically? Those are like 3 fun things that we can use. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So I could say where song, right? It's like so I could say where year is. Let's say year is greater than 2010, and song. Oops, and songs. And song is like and, right? So you can concatenate your query based on and, right? Or not, right? So that same kind of logic works within it. So we say and not, right? We can also do nested statements. We could probably spend like 2 months just on SQL stuff, but we don't have that kind of time. I wish we did because it's super powerful and it's really fun to use. in my opinion. Anyway. Any more questions about that? You guys? Nothing? Cool. All right, you guys want to get on next project? You excited? You guys are you're so motivated and pumped today. All kinds of energy. Okay, so now we learned how to import big data into collection, right? Now we've done this. Actually, Christian, can you Slack out the instructions for this one? Because I don't think I included them all. So now that we have it there, we can begin doing our Node console application, which allows you to kind of collect specialized pieces of data, right? So what I want you guys to do is build a Node application and a query that can return all the data of songs sung by a specific artist. So what can we do here, right? Maybe we can prompt them to select an artist. Maybe we want to do a query that returns all artists that appear within the top 5,000 more than once. Maybe we can figure that out, right? Find artists with the top song and top album the same year. A query that returns all the data contained within a specific range. A query that would searches a specific song in the top 5,000 and returns data for it. So this is something you might use the like command for, right? So you don't have to do all these, but I would say at least pick 3, 4, just to build into an application. 3 at the minimum. Return a query that returns all data for songs sung by a specific artist using search or like, right? So we can actually use that like command in there. So I made a modification of this example so you guys want to see what kind of ideal situation would look like. Not that my code is ideal, it's just like some. All right. All right, so no. Oh, I messed up. Hold on one sec. Nice. Oh no. Oh, that's right. I recreated the database. Oh shoot. Okay. Well, why don't you guys work through those examples that are in the instructions? When I get it working, I'll show you the example of what I have done. All right. You guys feel free to work with a partner on this one too if you want to. It's totally up to you.
Great.
Yeah.
Example where you did a group by the position.
Yeah. I had to reset my password for some reason. I like worked so nicely. Give me a sec. Completely handicapped. Oh yeah, I had that separate file that I. Yeah, I can just select this out to everybody, I guess.
That'd be sweet. Okay. Composition artist, group by artist, position setting. Oh, group by artist. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'll just slice.